Well, this is different. I've never done this before. I'm starting my own podcast with me, myself, and I. I am between names right now, to say the least. I'm not sure really what to call it. What's the most memorable, what you guys would click on? I'm between fiercely competitive. I kind of like that one a lot. I have them written down. Let's see. Fiercely competitive, existential crisis. I'm going to be talking about myself, my insane thoughts on whatever topics I feel would be interesting to listen to. On my own. I'm not actually on my own, but sometimes everybody feels a little bit on their own. So I think that would be a good title. Why am I like this? Because I'm one of the most insane people I've ever met. And yeah, planning for the worst. So, like, hoping for the best and planning for the worst, but just planning for the worst. Because a lot of times, existential crisis makes you think a little bit too much on the micro and not the macro. It's hard to think of the big picture when the small picture is so hard. I've been having a hard time with that lately. Definitely way too hard on myself. I was also hard on myself was another one. A lot of these I'm sure are taken already. I'm pretty sure existential crisis is not. So what would I call it? Like existential crisis podcast? It sounds good. I don't know. I might have to spice it up a little bit. A little bit. This first one might just be called Existential Crisis. I might not even put podcast in there, just clickbait just a little bit. Flames around me, whatever. I'm also thinking about if I want to stream this or if I want to just have it a uncut like podcast recording. Not sure. Just in case I say anything stupid, I can edit it out later. I'd be editing a long time if I had to do that. So the streaming might be better off, but there's also more risk. And then it feeds into me thinking and thinking and thinking. I don't want it to be like a Debbie Downer podcast. That's definitely not what I'm thinking. I just want to be able to voice my, you know, free flowing thoughts into the universe. I don't have many people to talk to right now because I thought it was a genius idea to move 1,700 miles away from home. So it's pretty much just me and my fiance right now. And it drives me just a little bit crazy. Just a little bit. It's been great though. I really do like Atlanta. Atlanta is a awesome place. I want to meet some cool YouTuber friends maybe once I figure this whole thing out. Hopefully I can do that one day. My goal, I know it's a stretch. My goal by the end of the year is to hit 2,000 subscribers. I have been super inactive on here, I understand, but I can have a dream. I am not that far. Well, I should say we aren't that far away because me and my fiance run the channel together, but we aren't that far away. It's like 1875 of the recording of this podcast, so honestly, only like 125 left. But I have only uploaded a handful of videos this year, so kind of makes the channel quite dead. YouTube does not like when you are inconsistent. I've noticed that too. And if you're too consistent. they also don't like that because they think people are going to get bored with your videos, so they stop pushing them. Because I started another channel and I kind of, was hustling it, especially with the YouTube shorts. And for some reason, just one day, they completely shut down all of the views on the channel. And we're like, nope. I went from 275,000 views in like maybe a week to 15,000, and I was still uploading like 3 or 4 to 5 sometimes shorts a day, and they were like, "Nope, I'm done." They were kind of like a formatted thing too, so I thought that would do really well because, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, it was a lot of like talking about financial stuff, like especially with like the housing market the way it is. I thought, the volatile market, people might be interested in that because for some reason, the housing market is going up and up and up and up and up. And it feels like they're at the ceiling right now, and it's kind of, you know, peaking over and looking like we might be going in a downwards trajectory coming soon. So I really thought it was gonna like pique a lot of people's interest, but turns out nobody liked it anymore. Even though weirdly enough, like on like the last, I think it was like the last 7 videos I had like a core group of views, like say at least like 300 ish views on some of them, and the retention rate was like 400%. Um, and then like the taps were just shut off, and then because like the subscriber count was very low, like that channel only has like say 100 subs, but I got those 100 subs in 1 or 2 days, and then just dial the knob back. YouTube is interesting. Sorry, that was just a complete ramble. I did have one topic that I really wanted to kind of honestly, I don't want to say get off my chest, but like discuss openly. And it is kind of like the pitfalls that you can fall into, and like things that I would suggest you understanding and knowing before moving across the country like I did. It was one of the hardest decisions I ever made in my life just because I'm such a family oriented person. I'm very close to my family, and I can't see them anymore in person. Obviously, like we can visit each other, but that constant connection, like you're almost always around them because you live with them. And then switching it to you can only see them maybe say once or twice a year. It's really, really weird. And it was such an interesting, really, really interesting, like, phenomenon in my life because I am definitely a mama's boy. My mom very much pampered me through my childhood. Grew up in a small town, middle class, really, really, like a friendly community. And yeah, my mom just, she did everything for me. And then moving out and you have to do it all yourself. Plus, if you live with somebody else, you have to kind of work around their life too. It was really weird. So I would suggest really knowing and understanding the person that you are moving across the country with. you should really understand who they are as a person and make sure you guys have fundamental like morals that are similar to each other, and you should really get to know the person first, because you could be making a mistake. Luckily, that's not the reason why I have a hard time right now with living like leaving the support group I have. Like, obviously Sammy has been great. She's definitely helped me out a lot with, a lot of the issues I've been having. It's different because she's family but not family, if that makes any sense. Because we're not married yet. Like, obviously we're not married, we don't have a family. It's kind of like the you're putting a lot of trust in somebody. Yeah, something like that. I don't know where I'm going 100%. My brain is just frazzled. I'm just pretty much talking about you'll miss your family and friends more than you think. You really don't know what you miss until you miss them. They're your true support system that keep you sane, especially like your friends. You can't go out with your friends anymore. Your friends have to either travel to you or you have to travel to them, which can be really fun, obviously. Or, I mean, some people have it made like that and you all can, you know, take a vacation together. I don't know if friends do that. I don't know. I've never done that with my friends. So what I would suggest if you're starting to feel like lonely or disconnected from the rest of your family or friends, I would suggest like having some sort of video chat, Discord, phone calls. A lot of that stuff can keep you like all together in the loop. And you also definitely want to plan semi frequent trips back home and spend quality time with your family. I have this all written down, honestly. So I can remember what I was thinking about. Because you never know what you're going to lose over the years. You live so far away, you can't see them that frequently. It may sound morbid, but your family, your friends aren't all going to live forever. So you want to enjoy their company while they're still here. Don't wait, because when you wait, it's already too late. That's why when I was at home, I made sure that I spent as much time as I could with my family. I definitely spend more time with my mom, obviously, than my dad, but um, yeah, I tried to spend as much time as I like mentally could handle with them, because you're a stupid teenager. You want your freedom. You don't want to be living at home forever. It's good to get out there, but you definitely want to make sure you spend some time with your loved ones, your guardian. Say you, I don't know if you have family or whatever, but you want to make sure you spend time with loved ones. That is very important to keep you grounded as a human. Once you are in a cave, like I've been in a cave having such a hard time leaving the house just because I feel a little bit alone with my thoughts, and I spiral a little bit. Uh, even even when I'm around people, honestly, because I just have a little bit of a hard time in more social situations. I'm very introverted. I try to kind of come out of my shell when I can, but it has to be almost on my own terms. It has to be like something I would need to feel inclined in doing, because if I can be alone or, just be with Sammy, I'm going to choose to be alone 9 out of 10 times. I don't even like going out of the house. Like, I spend most of my free time here making videos or watching YouTube, honestly, or at the gym with my headphones in where I don't need to associate with anybody else, which I have to do that because I need to reset, because like I am in a very public job. Like I work in the public. I'm around people all day. I need to go home and kind of decompress because I've been around people all day and it drains me. My days off are me recovering from being drained at work. It's not even the physical, it's not even the mental. It's the combination of the two really make it difficult on me, because it is a manual labor job. It is very physical. I'm not gonna like out my work or anything because I'm still working there. Trying to find something new, trying to find something cool, remote. I think a remote job could possibly be the worst thing for me because I would just stay inside all day. I am getting off on a tangent. I opened this bottle and I didn't even drink out of it. Um, but yeah, make sure you make sure you set aside time for the people that you love. What's the next thing? Okay, yeah, I did want to write this down because it's something that I've definitely been struggling with. A lot of the lifelong friends that you thought you had are not going to stick around you forever. You want to make sure you have at least one or two really, really, really good friends, and you want to keep that fire lit between the two of you because it goes out quick. I I thought I had certain people around me that were going to stick by my side when I wasn't there, but the second that I like left to go try and experience like the life that I'm trying to have for myself and my family, a lot of people just uh, it feels like I don't know if they stopped caring, but they stopped talking to me and getting back to me when I tried to reach out to them. That's that's really hard for me to admit that it hurts me emotionally. The first 3 months really solid. They'll stay by you. They'll talk to you regularly, even. But out of sight for too long really means out of their mind. Honestly, they've got friends, they've got a life. You can't hold it against them. You're not around. You chose to leave. That being said, if you do have one or two really, really solid friends, coming home is going to be so much more fun. I'm really excited to come home and see my homie Anthony. We're going to have to make some time to, chill, grab a drink, go for some ramen. I'm sure, yeah, you might watch this, but that would be sick. I really hope we can catch up. I miss the heck out of that dude. We were gym rats together. I'm still going to the gym regularly. He's still going to the gym regularly, but honestly, it's so different now. I am not really pushing myself in the same ways I was when I was at home. I was on a I was on a meal plan. I was on like a strict 4 or 5 day a week like gym grind. Every day was at least a little something. When I wasn't in the gym like physically, I was at home doing some sort of workout on my own just to get rid of, that that excess, But yeah, I'm really excited to go home and, catch up with a couple of the homies. Really, really hoping I can get back soon. I've been gone for over 8 months now. 8 months as of like 4 days ago. And it's been really weird. Like, I haven't been able to see any of them. The people that I was seeing like weekly or some of them almost every day. It's really strange. Okay, off of the family, off of the friends, I want to discuss what it's like living on your own. Since I was a mama's boy and my mom did absolutely everything around the house and everything for me, this was a challenge. This was an eye opener. I didn't understand how much stuff you had to do. You have to cook, you have to clean, you have to, you know, take care of everything around the house. Take care of yourself. Take care of your your vehicle or whatever you've got. Everything just adds up. It all takes a little bit of time. The best word of advice, if you definitely had more of a sheltered upbringing with somebody that did everything for you, don't put everything off until it has to be done. Do just a little bit at a time, and you'll be very thankful you did. Because when I first moved in, I would slack on the dishes, I would slack on vacuuming, sweeping, mopping, cleaning the bathroom, all that stuff until it became like a legit full day of chores that I did every single week or every other week, whatever. And yeah, it became very stressful. So just a little bit every day. Maybe sweep one day, maybe vacuum the next day, maybe do the laundry, maybe twice a week instead of one. Instead of waiting and then needing to re-wear clothes that you've been sweating in because it's 125 degrees out here in the hot Atlanta, I've made very many mistakes with my clothes. Yeah, I got that right. I've got it down to a T now, though. Splitting it between two people honestly isn't that bad. We both kind of like split the chores, try to get what we can done every day. We're being realistic. We're not going to be too hard on ourselves. This place isn't spotless, trust me. I do like to keep it clean, especially the floors. We have had a couple run in with roaches and fruit flies because one time I forgot to throw out the bananas and they stuck around for an entire week. That was annoying. I forgot to throw out bananas. They weren't even rotten. They were still relatively okay. Because I eat a banana every single breakfast. You gotta get your potassium in, whatever. Um, and I didn't know how quickly fruit flies will just appear, and they don't like to go away at all. So keep your place clean. If you can put them in a container, probably put them in a container so the bugs don't like get all over your food. Ugh, I hate bugs so much. Um, what else do I have written down? Yeah, bugs. You want to get rid of them. If your place has pest control, make sure you have them come in regularly because once you have bugs, they're really hard to get rid of. So a lot of that preventative maintenance means so much. Because you don't want to be the guy that has to move your appliances every other day to clean out because you got 30 roaches fridge, under your fridge, under your sink, under your stove, under your dishwasher. All those places are where they thrive. Any place that is dark and somewhat moist, you want to make sure that stuff gets sprayed thoroughly. Move them out, and spray. You will thank me a million times. Trust me. I wish I knew that when we first moved in. Honestly, I was too scared at first to even call the pest control. And I didn't even have to call them. All I had to do was put an order in on my phone. It's that easy. It's literally that easy on most of them. There is usually a portal. Okay. Next, I just want you to know that if you moved away to follow your dreams or if you moved away to start a new life, remember what you moved away for. I moved away to follow my passions. I know that there are a lot of opportunities in Atlanta, a lot more than a really small town could realistically give me. So I had to follow my dreams and my heart, even though it was, it took me years to come to that realization. I had started planning on moving, you know, to either LA, which is honestly unrealistic. I don't think it's a good idea for most people to go there just because rent and property is too expensive, taxes are too high, and finding a job if you don't have one lined up that honestly, if you're making less than 150 grand a year there, you're probably not having the easiest life. It is very expensive. But if you know that you have a for sure gig in Los Angeles that's going to pay you well and the only opportunities are there for whatever you're looking to do, acting, whatever, then go for it. But I would say Atlanta is the new Hollywood. There is the best music here. There's an awesome scene of open mics. Sammy and I have been going to a bunch of those. Well, not a bunch, but a few. We've gone to a few. Um, there's some really cool spots to eat. Say you're a chef, you can probably make some serious cash here. There's a lot of money being thrown around. If you make really good food, come to Atlanta. Honestly, some sick spots. It's getting a little oversaturated, to be honest. Like, this area is hopping with new people. I have maybe met a total of like 10 people out of the last 8 months that have actually grown up here. They are all from elsewhere. It is a very traveled to area. The rest of Georgia is very grassroots. Like, they grew up there, they stay there. But once you come to the big city, it is all people that migrated here for these great opportunities. There's a lot of movies, there is a lot of music, and there's just a lot of opportunities that a really, I would say, I wouldn't say inexpensive, but a less expensive area would give you for the opportunities that you can get. Because honestly, the closest place to, like, the closest big city to me back home was Boston. And if you couldn't pay, say, $3,000 to $4,000 a month for rent, which is absurd, I understand, but you have to understand that the rent is very high in Massachusetts and the taxes are very high. It sounds unrealistic for a lot of people, and it was unrealistic for me, so I needed to go elsewhere. Doesn't make any sense. I don't want to travel 50 minutes, an hour out of my way and live in the middle of nowhere just so I can get opportunities. I can live 15 minutes away from the big city, 20 minutes away from the big city, and I can have all those opportunities at the palm of my hand. And the prices are just less expensive in every possible way. You can find a job that pays you decently very quickly. I had a job before I even got here that was paying me like 2.5 times minimum wage. The minimum wage here, actually, it's three times over 3 times minimum wage, because the minimum wage here is $7 an hour. Most places, especially in this job economy, are not paying you $7 an hour. It is, a lot of people use that terminology of the $7 an hour, and I have yet to see a job paying even close to that. I've seen McDonald's flyers. If you're willing to do like semi crappy shifts, obviously it's like 24/7 on most of them, but if you're willing to even work at McDonald's, you're making at least $14 or $15 an hour. That's like universal around America here. Like, a lot of fast food workers are making like $14 an hour. That's, even when I used to work at Wendy's, even after two and a half, actually no, because I worked there at the end of high school and then through college. It's like 2.5 years I worked there. I I made pretty close to minimum. Actually, no, I made minimum wage almost in Massachusetts. Like, minimum wage went up to $12, and I got $12 an hour. Because weirdly enough, I started when they started the hiking up the minimum wage. So I started at $8, and oh wait, no, it was $9, and it got up to $12. It was crazy. It was so weird. But now, even though some states are still really low with their minimum wage, most of them aren't paying minimum wage anymore. They can't get people, so they have to. They have to pay more. We are living in such a weird time that it is still, it's, I mean, honestly, the workers' economy is starting to dwindle. The jobs are starting to get taken back up. The unemployment is starting to drop. And it's starting to be a little bit less of a workers' economy. Luckily, we moved here at a good time. I got a decent job that pays more than we need, but less than I want to make, obviously. I want to be making a lot of money. I want to be, honestly, I want to be either a real estate agent, video editor, like film producer, something along those lines, slash directing. I wouldn't even mind doing like short films. It's just so hard to break into the industry here if, say, you have no connections. I came here, my family has no connections in the industry. I came here with a can-do attitude and some dreams, and I want to, hopefully in the future, maybe even get into some acting roles. I kind of want to do a medley. My favorite people are Jon Favreau. In the industry are Jon Favreau, Clint Eastwood, and Quentin Tarantino, probably around there somewhere. These guys do both. They do everything. That's the dream. So I gotta just, remember what I came here for. I know sometimes it feels like I've only I've only been here for 8 months, but sometimes I get in my head like, why am I not doing this already? Why am I wasting my time? Why can't I just have it now? And that is really selfish and really honestly toxic to myself to even think that way because it doesn't make any sense. Things don't happen overnight unless you are just insanely, I don't even know if lucky is the word, but you just hit when the iron was hot. And I haven't deserved it. Part of my brain has a hard time understanding that I haven't done anything to deserve like what I aspire to do yet. I have to just keep pushing and keep trying new things. Like with YouTube, I keep trying new things. I don't always stay stagnant. I don't have a passion for making stuff. Like I like to entertain the audience and everything, but I have a hard time coming to terms with having to do things for only for other people and not having any sort of passion for it because I want something to be long-term sustainable, and I have a hard time also with dedicating 100% towards something because I like to use I like to use the ADHD as a crutch, but I just have a hard time focusing on one specific thing. As you can tell, I ramble a lot. I have a hard time focusing on one specific thing, and it will be to my detriment because consistency is very much rewarded on YouTube. YouTube is an economy that thrives off of people kind of rinsing and repeating the same content. I have such a hard time doing the stuff that is tried and true, like the PewDiePies and the Mr. Beasts. That stuff just straight up isn't that interesting to me. I respect them. I watch their content, but I would never be enticed to make any of that. It's not cool to me. I am not that motivated by money. I am motivated by money. I like money. I obviously want a lot of it. But to give up what I am passionate about, I have a hard time with. Like clothing. As soon as I saw that clothing was successful on the channel, I pursued that. But at the end of the day, I wasn't pursuing it for personal reasons. I was pursuing it for selfish reasons. I have a passion for design. I have a passion for filmmaking and design. And that's not, I wasn't making it to appease, or I guess I was making to appease people, but I was making it because I was truly interested in certain things. That's why almost none of it is exactly the same. But like as soon as I saw that one, the hoodie video, I was not expecting that at all. Like I put that video out expecting absolutely nothing. I I can't even watch that video. I think it's terrible. Anything that I made, I would say over 6 months ago, I have a hard time watching. Um, Sorry, I got a dry throat from talking too much. I feel like my brain is so much like Theo Vaughn's. It's just so scatterbrained. I'm just not funny like him. He's just so funny. That's another thing. I would love to do stand up. Like, I don't think I'm overly funny, but I think I'm funny enough to do like an open mic, like a comedy, open mic comedy every once in a while. I'd love to do that. Oh, man, I love joking around. But I also like doing serious sit down stuff like this too. I kind of stopped with the comedy skits a while ago. Even though I like them, those are honestly my favorite to record. On YouTube, it's just like if you're not being rewarded at all, it's hard to continue it because there's no monetary incentive. And if there's no monetary incentive for YouTube, it doesn't get any reach. Like, I don't care if the video makes any money. I don't care at all. I care about the reach that it gets. I would take a video that made $5 but had 25 million views over a video that made 15 grand and had 500 views. It's a long-winded way to say pretty much that YouTube, you're confusing. And I don't know what I want to do with my life. I think sometimes, like, I'm 26. I should have it all figured out because I'm an adult. I should know what I want to do with my life. I should know what I want to make videos about. I know I want to continue making videos forever. I might not be the most consistent, but I love just getting in front of a camera and just pissing off. Just doing whatever. It's mad fun. Just chilling. Just talking crap. I love it. This is actually kind of fun. Honestly, I can see myself doing this a lot more. This one's kind of just like a cluster of everything, a little bit of everything. I did have, I did have an idea of being more, shall I say, concise with it. I had 15 minutes of talking about this list written down. It is now 45 minutes in, and I'm still not even done with the list. Okay, we talked about don't forget your dreams, spend time pursuing your aspirations. We talked about cleaning up. We talked about friends and family, loved ones. Make sure you spend time with everybody. Ooh, another one. Bring things from your home to make your new home feel like your old home. Obviously, not everything. I'm sure you don't have the same exact style as your family does, but bring some of your stuff. Make sure you have, If you've got some, say, family portraits, whatever, make sure you hang them up on the walls. Honestly, these walls are pretty bare around here because we won't be living here for too much longer. By the way, just bought our first property. Honestly, hyped about it. So I don't know why I set this all up when I am moving out of this apartment in 9 days. I can't wait to leave. The people around us are so loud. I love the city. I love the city life. But when I'm home, I want to sleep. I want to be able to rest, relax. I don't want to have neighbors that are up until 4 in the morning blasting music right above me. I hate it. I had neighbors above us moving furniture last night at 1 a.m. Can you see the look in my eyes? They're dead to me. I want to leave. I've wanted to leave for a while. Honestly, since week probably 3, I've wanted to out of here. We made a video of moving in. We didn't make a video tour because the entire time we've been here, we've been thinking about how can we get out of here. We thought it was a good idea. Oh, right outside the window, there's a pool. Oh, cool. That's awesome. I love having a pool right outside my window. What happens when you live in a city and you live right outside a pool? Oh, your neighbors are going to make more noise than a tsunami. One of the downfalls of living at an apartment. Honestly, the worst. Neighbors. Okay. Another thing to recognize when moving across the country, moving long distance, moving away from home, starting anew, moving out of the parents' house. Say you're living on your own for the first time. Now you have to pay for all of the expenses. They're all on your shoulders, or splitting them on your shoulders. One shoulder, the other person's got the other shoulder. Everything is much, much more expensive than you could even imagine. Food costs are triple what you probably expect them to be. Because you might be used to going out to eat with your friends, maybe paying a couple meals a month. Your family pays the rest. If you're living at home, honestly, if you live on your own already and you're just moving, don't listen to what I have to say. Honestly, I'm silly. But everything is just so much more than you would ever think. I didn't expect to learn how expensive all this food was. Didn't really take into account how much it would cost. I was thinking, $200-300 a month on food, easy street. No, for 2 people, you're gonna be spending at least $650. Groceries are very expensive now. You can whittle your way down if you don't ever go out to eat. I'm talking about going out to eat included. You can whittle it down. I only go out maybe, say, once a week. Usually it's to Chipotle because that's my guilty pleasure. I try not to go out to eat too much. I try to pack a lunch. I try to make dinners. I'm the cook of the family. Sammy's not. She's not as. She likes cooking when she has time, but she just works really terrible hours. Retail. I don't work retail. Yeah, food. It's 2022. You know, when an apple costs $25. I'm kidding. Still, if you're a big foodie, Maybe try to dial it back just a little bit. Just a little bit. Line a job up before leaving. This is essential. A lot of apartment buildings won't even let you move in unless you have proof of income. Like this place, I had to get a job before moving in to be able to move in. I thought my like money in the bank was enough to secure this place, but they're like, nope, that's going to cost you your soul. So find any job you can. Probably best to stay in the field that you are in, especially if you're looking to get into real estate. If you are moving into a brand new field and you are not tried and true with at least a year of experience, good luck securing yourself a loan. That is very hard to do. I knew that. Sammy knew that. So we got similar jobs to the field that we were in back home. And it made the process of getting into our very first home pretty easy. We are very desirable candidates, even though we just got here. It's pretty interesting, honestly. The whole real estate, like buying a place. I know we bought probably at the peak, but we are going to have to re-up our lease here or find another place, and rent in Atlanta skyrocketed. Since we've been here, this very apartment is 20% more expensive. Luckily, we're in a lease locked payment, but this place is 20% more expensive. That's stupid. You're paying somebody else's bills, not your own bills. I understand some people aren't in the same circumstances that we are, but before interest rates got too crazy out of control, luckily we've got a decent interest rate. Before they went spiraling out of control, do you know what the interest rate is now? The interest rates that I've been seeing are 6.5% to 7%. Over a 30-year loan, trust me, you can't afford it. These houses are going to sit for a while. They are trying to free up a lot of real estate so the banks can buy them. Trust me, we're headed into a really selfish, unnecessary, frankly, stupid recession. Headed into. We're already in one. Once the only way to surely know that you're in a recession is after the recession. So a lot of people keep saying, oh, it's a recession, it's a depression. We don't truly know. We're speculating. I'm speculating. But what I'm seeing is a recession. I'm seeing prices getting slashed to lows from before even the pandemic in a lot of these houses. But that's just because people could not afford these houses. If they were, weren't discounted, if that makes sense. Because, like, say you're paying 7% interest rate. Say it's a $200,000 or $300,000 house. That's pretty average. That's actually below average. Is $300,000. Say you're buying a $300,000 house with a 7% interest rate. You put 20% down. You're going to be spending well over $2,000 a month on that mortgage and interest rate. That's a hard pill to swallow. I'm very frugal. I could afford $2,000 a month, but I want my expenses to be as low as humanly possible. In a couple years, when the interest rates are lower, I'm going to refinance my mortgage into a 15-year because honestly, this place was not that crazy. We went, okay, so to be fair, uh, lenders are going to try to give you the maximum amount what you could possibly afford, which is about 50 to 60% of your income. If you're spending 50% of your income on just principal and interest, you are mistaken. You'll be out of that house in the next, I would say, 3 years. You don't have the money for it. Spend 30%, 25%. Once you get into those scary digits, you can't afford it. You're living on your own. Be realistic. You don't want this to be a mess that somebody else has to take care of. You should take care of it. Okay, so you're going to be not only paying rent, that is the paying rent and paying mortgage are the minimum of what you have to do. You have to pay to furnish the place. You have to pay utilities. You have to pay internet, food, phone, car, gas, insurances. And yes, that all comes before leisure expenses. Before you can go to those 5-star dining experiences, which I don't suggest, I would hope you have all of your necessities within 50% of your income. That is, in my opinion, high. I want my mortgage, interest, utilities, internet, phone bill, car, gas, insurances. I want all of that to come in at less than half of what I make. So, preferably, I'd like to keep it around 40%. And I know I said 30% for the house, but that's just the 30% is just the mortgage and the interest. That's totally fine. 30%, 25%, 20%. Keep it around that ballpark and you're totally fine. Um, this is not financial advice, by the way. I gotta say that. You want to put at least, or try to spend, or I mean, not try to invest or save 30% of what you bring in. You can count your 401k as investing. That's okay. If you can switch your 401k into like a traditional 401k into a Roth IRA, you'll be way better off because Roth IRAs, you pay taxes now and it grows tax free. You don't know what the taxes in the future are going to be, but most likely they're going to be higher than what you're paying now. So it would be a very smart idea if you got into a Roth IRA. I transferred mine over to a Roth IRA and with my company, I have a 5% match and I put 6% in. We're into a company Roth IRA. I also invest in the S&P 500. I get index funds. They're crushing me right now, honestly, but invest a percentage of your income into that and put a percentage of your income into an emergency fund, a rainy day fund, whatever you need, funds you want to save. Once something breaks, you'll be sorry. When you live on your own, your car, your car can break. Your air conditioning can break. Your water can break. Not a pregnancy joke, but funny. Stuff breaks. Your TV, your computer, stuff that you might need for your job, that stuff breaks. You want to make sure you have an emergency fund to cover it. It should be at least 6 to 12 months of realistic monthly expenses. That's everything you will need in a month. This is on top of your down payment for your house. This is on the side. Be realistic. You're not Superman. You can't force things to last forever because they won't. So just be smart and make good choices. The more you put off saving, the harder your future is going to be in the end. You want to retire. If you don't want to retire and you want to keep working, then you can buy yourself a Lambo for all I care. Like, I don't ever plan on retiring. I just plan on not working for somebody else. Unless it's Jon Favreau. But, I mean, when I'm at that age, he won't be. Let me vent. I like venting. I've been just talking jibba jabba this whole time. I love it. Thank you for tuning in. If you got this far, you're probably insane. Get that checked out. Because I have made 0.75% sense this entire time. Hopefully, some of you enjoyed it. I appreciate it. If you like this and you want more, tell me in the comments section what you would like me to talk about in the next episode. I'll probably put it out soon. I appreciate it. Make sure you like this video because swag. Make sure you comment what you want me to talk about next time. And make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification. That means so much to me. It shows me that you really enjoy this content. The real me. You enjoyed it. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Peace.